A trick has been found to survive any amount of fall damage. Something very interesting for Greasy Grove was added into the files. Vending machine changes are coming soon and more. There's a ton of stuff to talk about in today's video. Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video. How are you doing? Hit that like button down below if you're having a good day. It would be awesome to see how many of you guys are having a good day. But as I already said, we have a ton of stuff to go over, and those few things that I mentioned already are honestly just a few of the many things we have to talk about. There's some fun stuff, update news, new tricks that you want to see. There's actually a couple glitches that I want to show you that are pretty interesting, and yeah, it's going to be very fun overall. So if you do enjoy it, subscribe for more fun videos coming out in the near future, and also comment down below which skin you're using. I'm using the Yonder skin. I just unlocked the new suit for it, and I mean, like, I have to use it. That is like my signature skin. But on top of that, if you want to help support me, you can do so with code TheLlamaSir. And without further ado, let's jump on into it with the first thing I want to talk about, and that is a potential change coming to vending machines very soon. This is something that an Epic Games employee has commented on officially, meaning that it very well could be added into the game at a upcoming point, possibly even the very next update. So recently there was a post on the Fortnite subreddit talking about how vending machines should have the option to give out materials instead of like items sometimes, and this has been an idea that's floated around a lot in the past and things like that. I think I've seen it a few times before, but basically this is the first time that an Epic Games employee has actually responded to it. Now, it was pretty simple what they said. However, it was Epic Eric SW, and basically what he said was simply cool idea. Now, there's a couple of interesting things about that. For one, they wouldn't just say cool idea if they weren't thinking of maybe adding it. I'm pretty sure they've said like similar things before, and we later saw ideas like this added into the game after they responded in this way. But also the fact that it's Epic Eric SW, who is the design lead over at Epic Games for Fortnite. At least that's what it says on Reddit, but he doesn't comment a whole ton on the Fortnite subreddit. So when he does comment, you know, it's usually pretty important, and that it's probably going to be a change added into the game soon. So yeah, expect vending machines to have materials in one of the new updates. It's probably likely going to happen. But after that, then let's get into some awesome news. This is even more confirmation that Greasy Grove is going to be returning, and it's more so confirmation that it's likely going to be one of the next couple of rift zones. So if this location is already out, feel free to skip ahead in the video to the next stuff. But if Greasy Grove has not returned yet, stay tuned because this is some awesome stuff. Something was found in the files pointing towards it returning very soon. So basically, let's get into that first. First of all, what was found in the files was this, you know, poster for like washing your hands. You know those posters that you sometimes see in bathrooms of like how to properly wash your hands? That's basically what this is, but it was found to be added back into the files recently in the recent, I think it was the update 10.2. And basically what this is was something that was in the Greasy Grove Burger restaurant. Now, how do I know that? Well, I actually remember reading it in one of my games way back when. I was like looking around and I happened to look at the poster and start reading it, but I do remember it in fact being in that Burger restaurant. So the fact that it was added back recently means that Greasy Grove is likely the next location to return, or one of the next locations. In fact, if you didn't know recently, if you go into game right now and take a look at Fatal Fields, there is a rift beacon in Fatal Fields now. However, I don't think Greasy Grove will come back at Fatal Fields. I think there's another location that's said to be returning very soon. And we'll talk about that later in the video as well. So maybe like in the next couple of weeks is a safe bet, but there are also other files pointing towards Greasy Grove returning. So yeah, look forward to that. It's going to be happening soon, most likely. But after that then, guys, let's talk about a recent glitch that was found in, well, the recent update of Fortnite with the Pandora and stuff like that. Now, this isn't the one with fall damage. That one's coming up, don't worry. It's a cool one too, but this one actually has to do with a spot that helps you get materials like super duper fast, because it's sort of like a glitched spot in the Pandora location. So let's go ahead and hop into game real quick so I can show you this. Alright guys, so here we are in Playground, which obviously has, you know, increased materials, but that doesn't really matter for showing this to you. Basically, you want to head over to Pandora, the location right over here, my like new favorite location on the map. I'm a huge fan of Borderlands, so this is like my favorite spot. However, the glitched location, it's actually towards the very southern portion of it. You want to go over to the face on the side of the rock right there. So yeah guys, once you head all the way over here, you want to land up here, or maybe you want to get some items and stuff and then head up here. There's actually a chest up here too though, which is pretty interesting. However, you can then start farming the materials. But as you can see, when you break them, a lot of them are actually doubled up, meaning you can get a ton of materials super fast up here. Now, this one might not be doubled up, but like this one right here is for sure, that you can see right there. Yeah. you break it, and then there's another one right inside of there. So a lot of the rocks are in fact doubled up. This one's kind of doubled up, but yeah, there's a bunch of them like in together here. Break that one, and then you can see there's even more rocks behind it. So basically it makes it so you can get a ton of rock like super fast. And here's like another one that's doubled up. What about this one right here? Okay, that one's not, but you can see there's actually a floating ammo box. Oh man. So yeah, guys, just a simple little trick, but if you're in Pandora and you're looking for materials, going up here is a great way to get rocks and bricks super duper fast. After that then though, let's talk a little bit about the mech, because recently it was actually disabled in game. If you didn't know, it was just a hotfix. There wasn't like an update or anything like that, but yeah, it was disabled, and I'm pretty sure I know the specific reason for it. It seems to have been removed due to a bug, and that bug I think was the one posted by Cypher PK. He had made a post I think on Twitter about this weird glitch where when you're sometimes fighting against somebody in a mech and they use the stomp ability, sometimes it can deal damage to you even when you're not close to the mech itself, which was very weird because he even like used a shockwave to fly away, and the guy stomped the ground like 300 feet from him, and he still took the damage and got eliminated. So that's likely why the mech was disabled. So it's probably going to be coming back soon once that issue is fixed. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys that heads up on, you know, what's happening with that. But after that then, speaking of glitches, let's talk about one that was recently found that keeps you from receiving fall damage. You can fall from like any height, but using this trick, survive without taking any damage, and all it really takes is one item. And also credit to Gen Shadow 15 for posting this on Reddit. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into game here. Alright guys, so here we are in game. Here we are in a little creative match to prove how this works, and I made this, you know, it's a little bit rough, but it's this giant tower that we're going to be going on top of to show that you can survive, I'm pretty sure, like any amount of fall damage or fall distance with this trick. And ignore all the other random stuff, you know, I used one of my random creative maps to do this. But yeah, so this goes all the way up here, and also just so you guys can check, if we go into the game settings, go all the way down to fall damage, you can see that right there fall damage is on. So yeah, if you were in a game and you fell from like this high up, you would definitely you'd probably get eliminated from fall damage. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the game so I can go ahead and show you how this works. But basically, open up one of these chests right here, and we have a ton of the new shield bubble item. You only really need one, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you want to go over to a floor piece with nothing below it, and then you go to the very edge of it. You're going to want to throw a shield bubble down and then add it out below you so that you and the shield bubble fall down at like the same rate. So as you can see right here, throwing it at my feet, then editing out the bottom, and when we fall down, it looks like we kind of fell out below it, but when you hit the ground, you should... Okay, I guess I'm in. Okay, I guess I did it wrong. All right, so let's try that again. You want to make sure you're like on top of it, then edit it out, and then when you fall down, there we go. Now that should work. Since we're falling like with it, there you can see that we survived the fall damage and went that entire distance without taking any damage. So I guess it's a little bit tricky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's still pretty interesting that you can survive that much fall damage with one single shield bubble. So yeah, cool little trick, that's for sure. Keeping it going here then, guys, I want to talk a bit about Kevin the Cube and how he's been confirmed to be returning. Now, you may have already seen this bit of news, but I want to talk about it a little bit more and dissect what was found and look at like the secrets that are hidden within it and what it could mean, or like how exactly it's likely going to work. So real quick, for those of you who do not know what happened, basically in the recent update, there was found in the files one of the loading screens for I think next week's like temporary challenges shows something very peculiar. What it shows is Kevin the Cube as the Cube Island fully back in the game and floating in the air. Which, first of all, before we get into the secrets, I gotta say that we predicted this, guys. We knew about it like weeks before. We looked at all the clues, saw that the cube was going to be returning as one of the rift zones. So yeah, but getting into it with some of the secrets, let's start off with one of the more obvious ones. If you look at the location that the cube is back at, obviously that's Fatal Fields. We talked about earlier how Fatal Fields had a rift beacon near it. Well, looking at it right here, this seems to be what's going to happen at the rift beacon. Looks like Kevin the Cube is going to be returning as a floating island, and definitely, you know, it looks like a lot of fun. It's gonna be awesome to have the cube finally back. I'm so excited. But on top of that, that's not the only thing you can notice. One thing you can notice is that it also destroyed the, if you look around, you know, there's a bunch of trees flying around, and the usual forest that is right over there, well, is no longer there. So it looks like maybe the cube might move around this location, maybe, you know, destroying things in its path, or it's going to sit right above there. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. Then after that, you know, obviously there's likely going to be the special effect for this. You know how each rift zone has a special effect? This one's is probably going to be that you can fly around it. Obviously, to get on top of the island and how it worked in the past of Fortnite, there was like an updraft that you could use to glide around the island itself, and you can tell that's still the case by, again, that debris and stuff flying around the island. So that's very peculiar. Also, it's interesting that there's these storm-like clouds around it that could just be for the loading screen to add a bit of detail, but it is peculiar. Maybe that means, you know, there's cube monsters there or something like that, because the cube monsters were from Kevin the Cube, pretty obviously, judging from the name. So something to maybe keep in mind. And then on top of that, you can see that there is the motel sign from, well, the motel that was a location that disappeared a very long time ago, and it looks like it's going to be returning with this right here, and that house has gotten some updates as well, the old house that was on top of the cube. So some very fun stuff is going to be happening with the next update, and I cannot wait to see our old buddy return. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more fun videos coming out in the near future. On top of that, be sure to check out my previous videos here, such as on the left, my challenges guide for this week's challenges, and then below that, dissecting that mysterious image of the visitor. But other than that, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.